Streets of New Capenna is among the most powerful and sort of casual, competitive-friendly Magic sets we've had in a long time. There are plenty of cards in this huge expansion to Magic the Gathering that you would want to get, but here are the cards that you need to get to be playing either EDH, Modern, Pioneer, Standard, Legacy, Vintage, whatever you want. Throughout the whole entire spectrum of Magic's formats, there are a lot of cards that sort of don't really hit the mark in Vintage that hit the mark in Standard. They might not hit the mark in Modern, but hit the mark in Pioneer. But there are a couple cards in this set that you need to pick up because they are just that damn powerful. First off, we'll get to the big boss himself, Obnix. This one will be a staple in red-black sacrifice decks, Jund decks, and anything else that wants to play red or black together. Those EDH decks out there that need a little boost from red-black from Rakdos will get it with Obnix, the legendary planeswalker that features the new keyword, Casualty, which means you can sacrifice a creature with power X, and when you do, you copy this spell, you copy your planeswalker. You don't get to do that very often in Magic, now don't you? And then, of course, the copy becomes a token. So if you have any other effects that create tokens, so maybe you're playing this in a green deck or something like that, well, you can make double the tokens. So you get 2 Obnixilises for the price of 1 here. And the abilities on this card are a bit innocuous when you look at them on face value, but when you think, hey, I'm getting 2 copies of this card, they become quite powerful, especially in red-black decks where you're trying to grind your opponent into the ground. Next up, for those EDH players out there, this one is made for you. It is Errant Street Artist. Errant Street Artist has Flash, Defender, Haste, and you can copy a spell that wasn't cast. So if you're playing Volo as your commander, oh boy, you can make some sick plays with the Errant Street Artist here. It is a legendary creature, but that won't be stopping you in EDH anytime soon. This one should be a staple in all sorts of casual formats like that. Speaking of EDH, we've got another card here. We've got Falco, Sparrow, Pact Weaver. And so this one is going to be a real big EDH general here for those of you out there that like playing multiplayer formats where you have 100 cards. But it's got Flying Trample, and you can get it enters with a shield counter, so it protects itself immediately. And you can look at the top card of your library, and you can play anything from the top card of your library or cast spells. This, of course, does work really well. It sometimes goes infinite depending on what the spell you're casting, with a spell with an X in its cost, so like a Walking Ballista or a Hydra of some sort that has an X, and it's a creature. You can cast it off the top of your library here and get it for huge amounts of mana with Devoted Druid in this card. Of course, there are other applications where you can make a deck with counters and proliferate and do all of that fun stuff, but this one seems to be a very good EDH general for the people out there that are playing. Now for a card that could work in EDH because it's going to be insane in that format, and we're also talking about, of course, a card that could do something in Modern or even formats outside of that where you're putting artifacts into play for cheap costs, or you have lands that tap from multiple colors or multiple mana to get artifacts into play. Bootleggers Stash is probably the EDH card for the set, where that's going to go in every green EDH deck now. That's why it's so expensive, even though it's a brand new card on the onset of the release of Streets of New Capenna. Bootleggers Stash, I don't really need to say very much about this one. It is an awesome card that's going to do some stupid things in EDH. Lastly, we've got the highlight of the set. We've got the headquarters, or the triomes, or whatever you want to call them, the new building lands. I don't know what the other triomes that people are going to call this, but they're the 3 type lands for each of the gangs of New Capenna in Sparrow's headquarters, Rafine's Tower, Zayatora's Proving Ground, Jetmir's Garden, and Xander's Lounge. Of course, they correspond with the old Alara Shards. You might be able to call them Bant Triome or Naya Triome if you want to. But these lands are magnificent. They're going to supercharge 3 color decks in Modern. They're going to give 3 color decks in Pioneer that much better mana. They're going to give 4 color decks in Modern, like the 4 color Omnath decks, access to more of these types of lands so you can mix and match with your mana bases. And then, of course, in EDH, they're going to be amazing for any sort of deck that you want to play that's 3 colors and above. You can have an insane 5-color mana base now with 10 of these lands in your deck. You will never get mana screwed. on colors at least, if you're playing with these in your deck. They are absolutely awesome. This is probably the best of the best that they're going to get with designing new types of lands here. These lands are absolutely awesome for all of Magic's formats. A+ from me for these new lands. That'll do it for this video. Thank you for watching. Make sure, obviously, if you like the video, to subscribe. It really helps me out. What are your favorite lands from Streets of New Capenna? What are you looking forward to playing? What do you want to see play? Do you think Obnix list is too good? Let me know in the comments below or on Twitter @HunterBolding. But that'll do it for this video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you again real soon.